Welcome to the lecture on z-scores and percentiles. Please watch this lecture after completing all other activities, readings, and lectures in this week's Learn section. The two major topics in this lecture are z-scores and percentiles. I'm going to show you how to calculate them in SPSS and provide overviews of interpretations for each. To follow along, use a sample file included with your SPSS software titled salesperformance.sav. To do so, open the SPSS software, make sure to select the sample files in the bottom tab, highlight the salesperformance.sav, and select Open. This is a hypothetical data file that concerns training scores. There are three different types of training courses, but we're just going to look at the overall training scores in this one company to obtain z-scores and percentiles. First, to obtain z-scores, click Analyze on the toolbar. Select Descriptive Statistics and click on Descriptives. Highlight the column label for the Scores on Training exam in the left box and click the arrow to move it to the Variable box. Click the box to Save Standardized Values as Variables at the bottom of the descriptive screen. Now normally you could just click OK and that gets you your z-scores, but we're going to need some more information later, so we're going to go ahead and run some descriptive statistics while we are here. To do so, click on the Options tab and it will open up a second box called Descriptives Options. I went ahead and selected nearly everything as shown here on the slide because I want to be able to further evaluate my data set, and we definitely need the mean and standard deviation for later. Once you select all that you are interested in, select Continue and then click OK to have SPSS run all the commands. The SPSS output will be showing you the descriptive statistics you asked it to do. So the means, the standard deviation, we're going to need those two for later, so you want to jot those down somewhere. But it also has everything else we asked for, the skew, kurtosis, etc. But to get to the actual z-scores, you're going to need to go back to your data editor and look in your data view. Now you'll see that you actually have 3 columns instead of 2. Your third column are your z-scores. Given this truncated view of just the first 27 participants, remember we actually had 60, but just looking at what you can see on my screen, what is the score closest to the average? Remember our average was 72.14, and so what would happen is you would look for the z-score closest to 0, right? Remember z-scores are standardized values, so you can compare data regardless of original units. So our normal distribution has a mean, median, and mode of 0 once it's standardized. So all negative z-scores represent performance less than average. All positive z-scores represent performance better than average. So the closer a z-score is to 0, the closer it is to the mean or average. So what is the actual performance score that most closely corresponds to the average on this screen? You would look for the z-score closest to 0, and we would find that that corresponds to the performance of a 72.85%. Now, what about the entire data set? So first you would want to just go ahead and sort cases by the z-scores. To do so, click Data and then Sort Cases. Move your z-scores over to the box that says Sort By and make sure it's ascending and click OK. If you do this, you will be able to see that the z-score closest to 0 is actually negative 0.03109, and that corresponds to a performance score of 71.77. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and pause here and sort the cases by the z-scores for the future slides. Okay, now we're going to have SPSS calculate percentiles for us. Now these are for normally distributed scores. We will need our mean and standard deviation from our sample. So I have them shown here on the screen unless you did not follow along earlier. The mean is a 72.14 and the standard deviation is 12. To have SPSS obtain percentiles, first you want to click on the tab Transform and then go to Compute Variables. The first step is to go ahead and name your target variable. You can name this whatever you want. I chose percentile rank here, so that's why you see PERC and then RANK. But you can really name it whatever you want. Once you do that, the second step is to go to the function group shown on the right-hand slide or right-hand tab and you want to select the CDF and non-central CDF. Once you do that, you go below where it says Functions and Special Variables, and you click CDF.normal. You want to double click on this. Then that will move a function into the numerical expression box. Now you need to go ahead and modify that numerical expression. First thing, go ahead and click 100 times before the expression, and that will change it from probability to percentile. Then you notice all the question marks. The first question mark in the expression within the parentheses, you want to put your variable. So we have perform put there. The second question mark will be your mean, and the third question mark, you need to put your standard deviation. Check that your compute variable window looks as shown here, and then click on OK. The output for this analysis is displayed in data view rather than in your output window. You should find that the percentile rank column is populated with percentile ranks for each of these scores in your data set. The data view should appear as shown here if yours are ordered. But what do these scores or numbers mean? For example, a score of 71.77 has a percentile rank of 48.77%. This makes good sense when you think about the distribution. A score of 71.77 is extremely close to the mean of 72.14, and the mean would be at your 50th percentile rank, right? Because of a normal distribution. So our mean is at the 50th percent of area under the curve, and this would all make sense if we can think about where those numbers would really fall on a normal curve. So go ahead and try it yourself. For the following data set with 20 participants, identify all scores in the data set that are above the 70th percentile. So have SPSS calculate those for you. Know that the mean is 10, standard deviation is 4.0, and if you've done this correctly, you should find that 4 scores, 14, 14, 16, and 18, are greater than the 70th percentile. If your numbers didn't match mine or you don't quite understand what you're looking at and why, reread through this week's assigned readings and everything in the Learn section. And if you still have questions, definitely reach out to your instructor or SI leader. That's what we're here for. Thank you.